Hello, everybody. It's Peter Berry with Juicy Sacred Living, and wow, what a year 2018 has been. And in just a minute, Leisha's going to join me, and we're going to start talking about the solstice and what an exciting and amazing time this is, and how we can honor this time of the year that is so powerful, and how we can move forward from this place. Hey, you're back.
Hey. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
What have you guys been talking about?
I was just talking about 2018 being just an amazing year in so many ways, and that
Yes.
we're on a threshold into something new, and maybe exciting is the right word. Interesting is another word.
Different.
Yeah.
We're walking in some differences.
So, yeah, getting ready for this new year and how we can honor this transition period and utilize the energy of the solstice to move into 2019 with some intention and power.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you said welcome to Juicy Sacred Living TV, but if you didn't, welcome to Juicy Sacred Living TV. I think this is episode 19.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming to you live from Jacksonville, Florida, where we are beginning our winter for Juicy Sacred Living and our tour in Florida, and we will be here through into March. So we're settling in for that winter time, and as per usual, observing the quarter turns of the wheel. The quarter turns of nature's wheel, the solstices and the equinoxes, and the ways that the cosmos has a calendar, looking at how the earth is in relationship to the sun. Of course, the equinox in the winter in the northern hemisphere is when it's the longest night and the shortest daylight.
And the beginning of winter.
The official start of winter, even though we know it's really midwinter, but according to the powers that be, it's called the beginning of winter. So we like this observation of time of year because it's really an important cosmic event. It's not something that was made up by the men in charge back in whoever the Gregorian calendar beginning. This is something that actually that is something that the earth and the sun and that relationship creates every single year. So it's an important window.
And it's a time of year that our ancestors really paid attention to, especially those people we think of as indigenous people who were connected to the earth in a deep and powerful way, who didn't see a separation between themselves and nature. Mm-hmm. They paid very close attention to these kinds of these times of the year, and the stone circles and the Mayan cities were all designed to capture those points in time because they're so important.
Well, in Stonehenge in the UK, actually all over Europe,
mm-hmm.
And in the US, there are observation points that were built by indigenous people. That, as you said, they're oriented towards the solstice points of the year, and it's a timekeeping device. It's a natural timekeeping device.
Yeah.
So,
and those cultures all wanted to make sure they knew when that exact time point in the year was, so that they could do the ceremonies that were important for that time.
Right. So we like it because we've observed it for years. We used to have the biggest winter solstice parties and summer solstice parties and equinox and on the fall and the spring side parties at our old place, at our mini farm in Asheville years ago. But now, since we travel all over, we just observe wherever we are. And here in Florida, we're with our youngest son and his sweetheart, and we're kind of settling in because this year feels really important. This coming year, we're getting messages and have been getting messages actually for a couple of years. I've been getting messages for a couple of years about what's coming in 2019, and we appear to be right on track with the things that I was given, the things that I was told. And we're hearing from other resources, people who are experts in their field, such as astrologers or economists, like mainstream economists are talking about some things that I heard about this way a couple of years ago. So we're kind of on track, seeing some very big changes coming next year. And we certainly have been paying attention, and we've been acting on the guidance, to prepare. And we want to share, what information there is, to support you in preparing. And, for you to have the information so you can decide for yourself, whether to listen and act, or whether to not act and not listen, which is entirely up to you.
Or to listen and prepare to act for when the time feels right to you.
Yeah, to use your discernment, of course, always.
Right. We're resources, just like a lot of other people in the world.
Yeah.
So we all have free will. That's
our song.
Yeah, we've got to act on that free will.
Yeah.
And I think what's there's some challenges coming. And to pretend that they're not coming is to take the ostrich approach, and that generally doesn't work very well.
Right.
So I think Leisha has more information about that I definitely want to hear too.
Well, I do, and I'll refer people to the video that I actually put out there, to free broadcast out there to my women's tribe, the Daughters of Earth tribe, that I put on YouTube so that everyone can hear it. That it just details, even by month, some of the things that I'm seeing coming, and that are getting backed up by people I don't necessarily coordinate with in any way. So some astrologers and the economists, like I mentioned, and some governmental people who are seeing some similar things that I'm seeing. So you can find that on YouTube on the Leisha Berry channel, the What's Coming in 2019 video, and maybe what we'll do is we'll find the link and post it here for you. But what we wanted to do today, because today is the solstice, this is a holy day in the earth and sun relationship. So we wanted to honor this turning of the wheel and this threshold with you here at GC Sacred Living TV, and give you some ideas about how to observe this, a really important day. We are going to be doing some ceremony tonight. We're going to be doing some deep planning and intention setting tonight. And today, the Solstice Apex is at 2:22 p.m. California time, so Pacific time. So here in the U.S. on the eastern coastline, that's going to be 5:22 p.m. tonight is the apex of the solstice, and that would be the moment when it's reached the zenith of its furthest point. So we really have the darkest night last night and tonight, and then tomorrow will be a slightly longer day, and the days will continue to get longer and longer as we get towards the spring equinox, and then they'll be equal.
Yes.
So, but we want to just give you a few things about today. So, so that was the timing, is the 2:22 p.m. Pacific and 5:22 p.m. Eastern time. In the Mayan calendar, today is an excellent day to be tapping in deeply to the earth, to the core of the earth. We're dealing with our root chakras today, and we are that's not coincidentally not different than what is coming next year. There is a tremendous amount of earth energy in next year. Every important event is happening in an earth sign astrologically next year, mostly Capricorn. So we are being brought down to earth, smack, out of your head, people, not in the clouds anymore, down to the earth. Practical matters, realigning in our relationship with the earth, remembering that we are earthlings, that we have an earth here below us to take care of us and for us to take care of, but also taking care of earthly matters like the relationships with the people that we love, the relationships with our own bodies, taking good care of our bodies. We're going to be doing a major move into overhaul with our bodies, another whole level of physical care and getting strong and healthy, because you need to have resilience when there are stresses, when there are challenges or stresses in your life. It's important to have a well-being inside of you, so that you can bounce back when you've got challenges coming up. And according to what we're getting, we are going to see more challenges. And in the energy update community, which I'm a part of, I see a heart, somebody's watching us, somebody's with
Yay.
us. Hello, whoever you are. We can't tell who you are just yet, but thank you for being here in the energy community. So I am part of that and have been posting energy updates for almost 20 years now, where I've been actually keeping track of solar weather, lunar weather, space weather, earth movements, and how that impacts us as human beings. And that we literally are subject to all of these waves, as part of the cosmos. And then keeping tabs on that over the years, it just kind of has gotten intense and a little more intense and a little more intense. And I tell you, every year somebody will ask me, or many somebodies will ask me, is it going to ease off? I mean, when is it ever going to ease off? And it's like, indications are that it's not going to ease off, not for a long time. That the volume knob is just going to keep getting turned up. And you might ask, what's it all about? Like, what's the whole...
Hey, Christine.
Awesome. She's like, hey, it's me. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
We just saw your message. Thanks for being here. The volume knob is just going to continue to get turned up, little, but it's in increments, right? You got to think in terms of fractals and geometric progression. We've been prepared over time with little increases of intensity, because we have a big increase coming. And that is what we've all been preparing for, really. We were born for these times. So we are honoring today, because today is a way to mark kind of an end point of the 2018 year, to sit in ceremony and take stock of what has occurred this year, all the changes, all the lessons, all of the
growth, the deepening,
the new stuff, that came in this year, the stuff that needs to be let go of,
the turmoil that we see around us,
definitely what's occurring in our world, the big changes, that are occurring in the political and governmental
and economic
structures, and the changes that are occurring culturally, with the Me Too movement and the women's movement, and the awareness of fairness and equality in race and religion and sexual orientation and gender, and all of these things that are coming to the forefront in our cultural awareness are all part of the evolutionary change that's occurring right now. And so today is a good day, because it's a holy day, a cosmic holy day. It's not something we made up somewhere in some religious office somewhere. It's something bigger than us made this special day. It's a good day to sit down and be like, okay, here's what has happened this year. Here's what I'm going to let go of. Here's what's time to prune back or let die on the vine, right?
Right.
Here are the fruits that are long lasting, and we want to continue those and bring them into the new year. And then to set intentions. So literally, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. I want to go back to something you said, because I think it's really important, and it's something that has always been a big deal to me, which is about grounding into the earth. And how our focus has been as a species so upwards over the last, several hundred years at least.
I would say 6,000 years since we started learning how to write language.
Okay. So for a very long
brain
time.
Dominance.
Yes. Yeah. And this kind of feeling of ascending, trying to escape where we are. And that deep grounding is so important, because we are earthlings, which means literally of the earth, that we are made of the atoms of the earth, that our body is composed of that.
And did you know that that's actually the true meaning of indigenous? Indigenous actually means sprung from the land.
Right.
Begat from the land. We are all indigenous because we are made of
We're
the
made
land.
We're made
of the earth.
Of the very material of the earth that we walk on. Mm-hmm. And for us to really be fully inhabiting who we are, we have to claim that. Mm. And grounding deep into this Mother Earth of ours, that is going through her own changes. As if you listen to Leisha at all, you will know.
The women and daughters of Earth know all about it.
They sure do.
They are up to date.
So men, time to catch up, because Earth is doing its thing, and we are part of that. We are part of an evolution of a much larger organism than we can possibly imagine. And we can either cooperate with it, or we can fight it. And fighting it doesn't work very well. That's what I think we've been doing for the last 6,000 years, is we've been operating in separation. And what I'm feeling in my bones is we're going to be getting some reminders that cooperation works a lot better.
Yeah. And therefore, opportunities, some would call crises. And I'm reminded of the cliche that, the Chinese character for crisis actually means opportunity, or some that they mean the same thing. Christine says, I've been feeling so connected to the earth lately. Good. That is the right place to be feeling connected.
Absolutely.
Especially considering we're coming into a year with so many earth signs. So all of the major events, the solstices, the eclipses, lunar and solar eclipses are all in earth signs next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we have like 4 or something, some huge amount of eclipse activity next year. So it is like a, think about it this way. We are coming into where the dark and the light are coming into union. So even the astrology of the full moon tomorrow is about the dark and the light, coming in together. But it's going to be this major impact next year where we are having actual, not only astrological support, to be looking at our shadow and our unconsciousness coming into the light, like the ways that we operate without consciousness being brought to consciousness, which is the light, but on a global scale. On an actual global scale, the collective unconscious being brought to consciousness. That is dark into light, and that is the whole point, in this evolutionary process, is the ways that we're not aware of what we're doing to each other, to ourselves, to the earth, to be brought into consciousness. And that's how we make different decisions. That's how we make different choices. We can't do that until it's been brought to our consciousness, because we don't know we're doing it. We can't make a different choice.
And boy, once you reach that point of consciousness, it's hard to make decisions from the dark anymore.
Yeah, it's like trying to crawl back into the womb.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So in the process of that can be very jarring. I mean, psychologically, it can be very jarring to be faced with something that you've been doing or thinking or believing or thought was real, and it's like, bam, in your face. Oh, no, it's not the way I thought. Or, oh no, I'm doing something I didn't even know I was doing it. And it can be unpleasant. And so it's really important to have a strong infrastructure, which is what I'm teaching and have been teaching all of my clients and students for 20 years. And in Daughters of Earth, it's like the strengthening of the conduit that we have internally that connects us above and below into the core of the earth is our strength. It's our place of solace and sanctuary. And I see Amanda is watching. Hey, Amanda. Amanda's a brilliant scientist who is also bringing forward some messages from Gaia. So she knows what I'm talking about. That having that connection deep into the core is actually a place of sanctuary when the shit is hitting the fan on the top side, and it is hitting the fan. If you haven't noticed, it's been hitting the fan for the last couple of years, but there's more. There's more coming next year. And we need to have that deep relationship, almost like a foxhole, to be able to jump down in and hunker down and get energetically close to the Earth's core so that we feel safe, so that we feel held, so that we feel taken care of at a very basic, subconscious level. So it's Peter is speaking absolute truth, and the daughters of Earth are caught up in this regard, but it is absolutely right. Everybody needs to be grounding all the way down to the core, and especially so now. And there's also another important reason to do that.
What's that? I'm curious.
I feel like I'm talking a lot.
It's okay. You have a lot to say today. This is your area of specialty.
It is. But another important reason to stay connected to the core of the Earth is because that is literally our power source, our body's power source. It's like trying to be a cell phone that never needs to be recharged. You always have to plug it into the charger,
Yes.
to repower it up. We need to be plugged into the Earth's core as a charging station for us physically, for our bodies, to receive the energetic support and data, if you will, coming from the Earth's core, from the intelligence that's there, in order to know how to walk, in order to know how to live, in order to know how to be, so that we can navigate these changes, that are coming. And the more closely we have our ear to the ground, the more, we're connected to that core, the more we're going to feel guided, the more we're going to feel the planet's actual generous love for us, her children, and the wish that we survive, or that we thrive, that we actually that there is this beneficent, generous spirit that is hoping and wishing for the best for all of us, and that yet we need to be listening. We need to be connected to that, and the third benefit of that is that as stressors come up, and as challenges come up, and stuff gets stirred up energetically, energetic detritus in our system gets stirred up from our awakening, that heavy energy has to be released. It has to be dumped down, into the earth, to the core, where it gets composted and chewed up and yummed up, by the earth, and she makes something productive and gorgeous and useful out of it. So it's actually a way for us to keep our bodies energetically clean. We call this Huccha Release in the shamanic community, where it's literally a process that we, again, have taught in Daughters of Earth, and I've taught for years and years, that is a release of heavy energy into the earth so that we can move forward with that fresh, clean energy and actually have a greater understanding of what our next steps are. It's really hard to make good decisions when you have a bunch of old, heavy, outdated energy clogging your system. You can't get clear in your mind when that's happening, when your body's not clear and your energy system isn't clear. So those are just a few reasons that staying connected to the core is really important. And one of the questions that we get from people who are not my students, who are hearing this for the first time, is, how do I do that? Well, we believe very deeply in setting intention. And so we do our process every morning, and that includes, I choose to ground to the core of the earth. Oh, Christine says I did a release this morning. Way to go, girl.
Awesome.
Keep it up. Keep it up. So back to the solstice. So we've talked about the importance of today. We've talked about the timing of today, 5:22 p.m. Eastern, 2:22 p.m. Pacific. That feels like a really important number. That number shows up for me a lot, and especially in this last year.
Yeah, 222, 333, those are big numbers for me. I like those.
All those angel numbers. But for some reason, for there to be a solstice on 222 is just like, I don't know, it's grabbing my attention. And so all the Pacific Coast people, I'm sending you love at 2:22 your time, 5:22 Eastern time. In addition to that, tomorrow, Saturday, is a full moon. And it's a powerful full moon. The astrology of the full moon is the sun and the moon coming together, the light and the dark again coming together. So the light as consciousness highlighting where we are unconscious in the dark. but it's also a way of talking about the yin and the yang coming into union, because that's the light and the dark also. So it's a big day tomorrow. The full moon tomorrow, Apex, is at 9:48 a.m. Pacific. So that's 12:48 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Apex of the moon. So you see the solstice tonight into tomorrow morning's full moon apex. Whoa. And on top of that, oh, were you going to say something else?
That's less than 12 hours.
Right. That's a big old threshold right there. There's a big old window. But there's a third thing that's happening.
What's that?
On the Mayan calendar,
mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is a portal day.
Oh, wow. A
portal day is a mathematically calculated on the Mayan calendar, and we all know how crazy accurate the Mayan calendar is. These days are days when there are less veils between the physical realm and us, and the galactic heart, or the other dimensional center of the omniverse. And so that portal being open tomorrow, on top of the solstice, on top of the full moon, we have got this 48-hour window. Actually, it really is into Sunday morning. So it's really more of a 72-hour window starting last night. If anybody noticed anything last night, we had some interesting things going on last night, where we are in this like high holy 3 days, where we are, we should be fasting. We should be in prayer. We should have candles lit all over the place. And of course, in the modern culture, who's got time to do all that stuff? So, but it's to enter into that space prayerfully is really what we're advocating. And what we're going to be doing tonight is, we're planning. We've been guided to plan for next year. We're going to sit down with the calendar and actually map out with bullet points like our year. We're going to look at what we need to just chop, let go of. It's done, release it. It ain't working. Let it go, and then what is the strength? Follow. What is the strength? What is the fruit that we want to continue to, grow? And we're going to set our intentions, to do that. We're going to sit in ceremony, and we're going to ask all the benevolent beings that we work with to guide us about how to prepare for the big changes next year. And then so tonight into tomorrow, to me, feels like the really sweet window. So tonight we're going to have, special food and special time, with our son and his sweetheart. And we're going to, just really focus on the goodness that's there, even if there are storms raging on the outside, to be focused on where there is sweetness, because that is going to be something we need to bank on. We need to use the things that are sweet in our life as ways to restore our well of well-being inside for the times when we are facing challenges. So
yeah. Well, I love that idea of focusing on the sweetness of life. And that is something that I can hold on to when the clouds are strong and the winds are blowing and things are uncertain. So, yeah, very exciting times. Not always fun, but exciting times right now.
I'm also asked to say to you that the third eye is being featured tomorrow. Today is root chakra, and tomorrow's third eye. So in case anybody's feeling that sense of tug or pull or some energy structure stuff, that third eye is going to get featured tomorrow in addition. So that's the guidance day. So today we connect with Mama, a deep connection with Mama. And, tomorrow we're like, and what's the guidance? Thank you very much, So let's see. What else? I think what we could say, just to kind of close things up, is that, and thank you for watching, by the way. Thank you so much. That's what we should tell you, some of our plans.
Yes.
Okay, let me get there. Sheesh. So, Daughters of Earth. This is for the women. because it's my very deep knowing that women have a special role to play in the evolution of our species and our planet. I have this knowing, and from the very beginning of my life I've known it, but now in the last 20 years have received very clear information for women and have been training women literally for 20 years to prepare for what's coming. And we now have a very logical and planned out curriculum in a handbook for Daughters of Earth that I will be teaching live next year. Starting in the beginning of February, we're doing a bonus session for the month of January, starting in literally December 29th. So a week from tomorrow, we're going to have a bonus session of an illumined online collage retreat where we're actually going to be creating collages in a whole brain way that predict our year, that actually guide us and show us what's coming for our year next year. And then we'll be spending the 31 days after December 29th as part of this bonus session to translate the collages, to look for all the signs and portents about what's coming next year through different methods, not just our collages, but also through the medieval means of the 12 days of Christmas, signs and omens technique, and then others that we'll be using in Daughters of Earth. And that is an invitation to come back into some old knowledge that we have as women. So I certainly invite you, as if you're a woman, to come and be part of that with me in the Daughters of Earth project and the Daughters of Earth program. And Peter and I will be embarking on, thank you for the hearts, thank you for the love. We're going to be embarking on our holy work together that we have been asked to do for a long time. And we have been nervous about it, to say the least. We've been, scared about it, and because it's big, but we are ready to say yes. We have been asked to surrender very deeply to Spirit's call and to the call of this larger work that we will be providing, in addition to Juicy Sacred TV, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, every Friday at noon Eastern. We're also going to be doing Juicy Sacred Sundays. We're going to provide a Sunday offering, a Sunday episode, in which we're going to be sharing with you a body of work that we have been given in the last, again, almost 20 years, that we have been embodying and working with, called Sacred Systems, Unit Work, and the Aquarian Gospels. And this is the work about feminine and masculine energy coming into union in men and women, and then so that we can be in union together with other people. It's not about biological sex or gender. It's about the feminine energy in all of us and the masculine energy in all of us coming into union. We have a very deep knowledge and understanding of these dances that we do with feminine and masculine energy through an incredible gift of a body of work in 3 chunks that came through starting when we took our family on a 7-year spiritual odyssey in 2003, but that had begun to come in much earlier than that, but it really formalized then. And we teach this body of work and offer retreats. We have one coming in May at Ghost Ranch in New Mexico, in May
place.
9th through 12th. Yeah,
amazing.
But in the meantime, we are going to be doing Jesus Sacred Sundays, and we will be talking about the union of those energies. We will be using examples from our own life to illustrate, and also using examples of common stories that we have been told in our culture that we believe we will be upending, that we will be turning upside down. And we're not going to give a lot of details about that right now.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but we hope you'll join us. The details about that we're going to be posting here. We're actually going to start a Patreon page to support this work, because we're doing it on our own. We've sold our house and gotten rid of our possessions, and we have been on the road literally, for me, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in April, and Peter since September of 2017. And so we literally are pilgrims for partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be doing some big work, offering, these episodes to you with a hope that it speaks to something deep inside of you. This is our role in the cultural evolution that we are all encountering. So, anything else?
No, I think, as usual, you were quite eloquent.
Well, I didn't mean to talk the whole time. I wanted you to be able to talk too. I'm glad that he talked sometimes. It is usually me that's talking, but he has good things to say. So it's like,
well, sometimes I'm just the space holder.
Well, and sometimes you need to just say, "Hey, I got something." Mm-hmm. So I could go.
Well, I'm good.
Okay.
I want to remind people, feet on the earth, ground deep into the core of the earth.
Deep into the core.
Think like a big tree with the roots as deep as it can go.
Deep roots.
Those are the trees that survive the storms, that thrive after storms, and that's. Mm-hmm. I think that's where we're headed.
We do. We have some storms coming, and we're going to be here to guide you in whatever way we can. Offer our years and decades of wisdom of surviving storms and the deep work that we do, to help us to grow. Despite whatever may be occurring. And again, women, Daughters of Earth is for you. Join us there if you want to know, to learn, to remember how to bring all that feminine wisdom into the world. All right, I think we're good.
I feel complete.
We love you. We'll talk to you soon. Mwah.
Bye,
Lots of love.
everybody.
Happy solstice.